Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my review, or sort of just a video giving my thoughts on the finale for Image Plus's Here's Negan. Alright, and spoiler warning, if you guys have not read the finale for Here's Negan yourselves yet, if you're not going to read it, then you probably don't care, and you might as well watch this video anyway, because we're going to recap it, and then we're going to give our thoughts on the last two chapters. So, I didn't give my thoughts on Chapter 15 of Here's Negan, which was the prior months, but now we have 15 and 16, with 16 being the finale, Image Plus number 16. I'll put the link in the description. If you guys want to buy digital to read it yourselves, it's $2. It's only a few pages, though, so be warned if you're going to pay the $2. Don't expect to get a whole issue of Walking Dead or something like that for that price. It's a previews type of magazine. But I'm glad they switched it to allow us to read it online. That was one of the requests I made and I sent in to them. And I'm glad, I don't know if they listened to me or they just did it on their own, but I appreciate that they posted it online for people that are not always able to get to their local comic shop. Image Plus number 16, the highly anticipated finale to the Here's Negan story. Don't miss this issue of Image Plus. Read the highly anticipated conclusion to the Here's Negan story. This final jaw-dropping chapter will hit the Walking Dead fans harder than a smack from Lucille. Don't miss out on this collective unforgettable finale to the fan favorite villains origin story by the New York Times bestselling team of Robert Kirkman and Charlie Adlard, yada yada yada, that kind of stuff. So sounds like that's it, and they are releasing a hardcover even, where you can buy, like a trade or a hardcover for Walking Dead of Here's Negan. So I'll also put the link to that on Amazon for you guys. It's not out yet, though. It should be out, I believe, around the time, at least in Canada, around the time when Walking Dead Season 8 starts. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting that, and when I get the whole thing together, I'll show it off with you guys. We'll do a full review when we have the final printed all together thing, because these are pretty choppy. This is Image Plus. Geez, I don't even know what number this one is. But yeah, so this is this was, I'm just reading Image Plus number 3. So, and there's only you get all this stuff, and there's only a few, actual pages of the Here's Negan stuff in it. So it'll be nice to have them release to collect, so you can buy, just Here's Negan by itself, all together like a trade of Walking Dead, and just read it all the way through, one section to another, one chapter to another, and enjoy it. So I will say now, I really loved what they did with the Here's Negan story. Now that it's basically over, I'd love to see them do more stuff like this. I don't know if they can swing it because, of course, Charlie Adler is very busy. Robert Kirkman is also insanely busy, even to the point now where he's backing off of doing Invincible because he's got so much stuff he's working on. The comics, Walking Dead comic book series, of course, he's got to handle with care, and then he's got all the other stuff that he's working on. So I'm not sure if they can do any more of these kind of offshoots of the Walking Dead, but I'd love to see more if they could do more. Really loved Here's Negan. Some huge reveals from it, of course, were that Lucille is named after Negan's wife. Negan's kind of life before the zombie apocalypse. And also now with the finale here, we get to see the start of the Saviors, or how Negan came up with the concept or the idea to start a group called, or We Are Your Saviors, which is what it is. So part 15 is basically the continuation from part 14, which I already did a review on, or a video on. And basically what it is Negan fights back against one of the guys of this new group and ends up killing him with Lucille. In issue chapter 15, we see him basically start off with a speech, and after killing the member of this group, and he goes over and he does, as we've seen in some previews before, wraps the bat with the barbed wire. Super badass. Not sure what he's doing. Like, oh god, what do I do? Wraps Lucille in the barbed wire, comes back over like a badass, and has Dwight kind of watching everybody, and then he says, you guys are all scared. You're on edge. You probably got no idea what's up or down, or whether to run or stay the F put. I get it. It's time. I told you about Lucille. So that's 15, and then we get into 16, and it starts with, Lucille meant everything to me. I didn't even know it at the time. Not all the time, at least there were moments, but for the most part, I was a piece of shit. It wasn't until she was gone that I really knew what she meant to me. And then we go on a little further. I'm not going to read every single line, but, pretty much it's a speech along the lines of what he tells Rick, which is that people want to feel secure, especially in that type of world where you have a zombie apocalypse, you have people dying all the time. We got to see in Here's Negan the amount of people that died fighting by Negan's side was just ridiculous, and he kind of lost his humanity seeing all of these people around him that he grows to care about in the zombie apocalypse all dying. We can certainly relate to that, from Rick's group's perspective, seeing a lot of characters early on that maybe some of us really liked, being killed off, unfortunately. And for Negan, it seemed to be even worse until he met Dwight and these others here, and he started to form the Saviors. So he says, I learned something being around those people, watching them die one after the other because they were too weak, too scared, too MFing sad. And me, well, I felt nothing. Not for them, not for myself, not for anyone. I wasn't scared, I wasn't sad, I wasn't angry. Well, sometimes I was angry, sometimes I was furious, but for the most part, nothing. It took me a long time to realize why. It was Lucille. She protected me. She placed me in a bubble where nothing got to me, made me stronger, helped me survive. This is Lucille. And then he raises the bat. Instead of watching you sorry Fs die like I have so many other weak MFers along the way, I have a new idea. I'll let Lucille protect you too. So this is a lot like what he said to Rick about people wanting to feel secure, wanting to feel like they're being protected. And then he says, stand with me, and anyone who tries to hurt us, anyone who gets in our way, will end up like him. And then it shows the other guy that he just killed. And I believe it was chapter 13, I think. So far, you've been survivors. That's the best you can hope for. Your leader is dead, and he was a effing asshole. Anyway, you can fight us, but you won't win. We consolidate supplies, protect each other. We can make this work, but let me be clear. You work for us now. We're your saviors. And then one of the guys gets kind of pipey with him and kind of is like, are you crazy? How do you expect us to watch you murder one of our own and then turn around and fall in line behind you? So then he says some derogatory things. Follow the effing line or I'll crawl up that something hole of yours, get really deep inside so I can really get a message to those big balls without anything getting lost in translation. And I'll say, big balls, I know you think you're the king of the fuck mountain and you're not accustomed to taking shit from anyone, but things are different now because here's Negan. So I like that a lot, man. So that's the final line, the final page for the Here's Negan storyline. Pretty cool, and you can see him kind of like, enjoying it like crazy as he's in there, at least acting like it, even if he might not actually be enjoying it, because it kind of seems like he wasn't, because he was kind of confused earlier. But, it's really well done, I think, the whole Here's Negan storyline. I like it a lot. For me, with Negan being one of my absolute favorite characters from The Walking Dead, I think it does so much for the character to really give him depth, to really show, how the Saviors got started. Like, we are your Saviors, right? We're going to save you because so many of these other people had been killed just by zombies or just by whatever in the world. And we're going to protect you. We're going to make you feel secure. And also the idea of maybe killing one of each group to break them in, and then get the others to agree to work for them. It's kind of like the beginning of getting to see how the Saviors got to be. We don't need to see every single part. It doesn't need to be 100, issues or something like that, or seasons and seasons of a TV series. I really like what they did here by just giving us these important highlights, a few pages at a time, a chapter at a time, to really give us the story, to give us the understanding of who Negan is, what he's about, and in the end, bringing us kind of right up to speed with understanding how the Saviors got started, how he started the Saviors, and why people would join in and why it would make sense. And from here on out, once he's got a big enough group around him, it's just going to make more sense for other people to join and to work for him, because you have so many people. It's like if they want to kill you, they can wipe you out. If you only have a few people, let's say you have a group like maybe Tyrese's group in the TV series earlier on, where it's like him and Sasha and a few others, you only have like maybe 5 to 10 people in a lot of these groups of survivors, a dozen or so. They're not going to be able to stand up to Negan and the others, so they're going to join, and Negan just gets more and more powerful to the point where then you get at some point like over 100 fighters, over 100 men or over 100 people willing to fight for the side of the saviors. So I will definitely do a review once they release the hardcover collection all together. But yeah, just really happy with what was released with Here's Negan. Think it's amazing for the character. We never got to see something like this for the Governor. There was the Rise of the Governor, novels and stuff like that was released. But this one was so much better for me because it's the same team that did the original Walking Dead that is doing the Walking Dead. The same artist, Charlie Adlard, who literally is the Walking Dead comic. Without him, I don't know if you could even keep it going or get another artist to do it at this point. It would just feel so wrong. So, as far as the score goes for the finale, I guess I'd give it probably around a 9.5, something like that. It's just really, really great. Really enjoyed it a lot. Here's Negan for sure, and kind of all the things we got to see here that really have it make sense for who the saviors are and what we see later on. So Negan, for us in the comic books, he kind of comes out of nowhere. But once you read this, you really get an understanding of how this character evolved and developed. And you get just a really good understanding of his psychology and what he's all about. So, and why he became the way that he is. So I think it's crucial reading for anybody who likes The Walking Dead, the Here's Negan storyline. And I look forward to getting it just as much as any other trade, if not more, because I view it as so important for Negan as a character, and he's one of the best characters in the series that there is. We know Rick's story, but up until this, we didn't know Negan's story all the way through. And that'll be it for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can also share and favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at the bottom left. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys again soon for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. I'll see you soon.
You better subscribe.